Okay, so you deleted your social media, or the apps are still there, but you're not really using them, so you kind of quit social media. Or you know you have no self-control, you know you'll never delete social media, and so you just watch videos of people deleting their social media so that you feel like you're doing something. It's okay. So deleting your social media can be very liberating, but it can also be kind of scary because you're essentially giving up a very easy way of being social. So now you essentially have to work harder to be social and have relationships. So we all know the reasons why people delete social media: the peer pressure, the constant comparisons, living up to someone else's perfect life. But I want to talk about what it is exactly about social media that forces us to use it in this way. Like, why do we always use it to compare ourselves to other people? And then ultimately, like, why do we find that so exhausting? So let's just get something straight right off the bat. Social media is time consuming. Like, it's work. First you need an outfit, then you gotta go do something that's worth posting about. And you gotta take your picture, and taking pictures could take hours. And then you gotta think of a caption that goes with your picture, but also gives it like a little extra meaning and mystery. And that's just posting for yourself. But outside of that, you also have to watch all your friends' stories so they don't think that you hate them. And then you just gotta scroll through your Explore page to find more ideas about what you're gonna post about next. Like, it's just a continuous cycle of work that takes a lot of time out of your day. So I always had a really weird relationship with social media, only because when it was growing into its own, I was also studying social media in university. And so I was studying how social media affects society and human psyche. And once I realized what it was really doing, I was just put off by it. I was not trying to use it at all. So basically what I learned was that social media companies make money off of our labor. So when we're liking pictures, commenting on pictures, even like whether we comment with words or comment with emojis, if we buy things on Instagram or Facebook Marketplace, like all of this creates data that these companies are then able to use to create extremely detailed profiles about us. And they sell these profiles to advertisers who basically use it to target ads to us. So basically me interacting with the people that I follow on social media is making it easier for companies to target me with ads that I will find irresistible and then just want to spend my money on these products. Like, my labor is making me poorer. The other thing that I learned about social media when I was in school was that social media is like a social milieu. It's where we learn to be ourselves in relation to other people. That's why it can feel so performative all of the time, because you're basically posting pictures of yourself as an expression of who you are. But as you're doing that, you're critiquing your own photos because you want to make sure that you get likes. You don't want to post a photo that nobody likes. Social media creates this outside looking in perspective of our own lives. Like, I'm creating myself on social media. This is hard to explain. Like, I'm looking at myself from the outside of myself, even though I'm me. So before I even post on social media, I'm critiquing my post to make sure that it's worth posting. You're basically critiquing your photos before you post them, and you're critiquing it based on the things you see online. And this creates an environment where we only post the best parts of our lives. We're not gonna post something that makes us look like we're boring, or we don't have friends, or we don't go out. But we're not doing this for ourselves. We're posting performatively. We're posting for our audience, our followers. We essentially want everybody else that's watching to know that we're that person, when really we're only that person for like a fraction of the time. Then this all snowballs into comparison, where we're comparing our lives to other people's lives, sometimes to people we don't even know, and we let it affect how we value ourselves. Because we get so attached to the likes and the comments, and we almost equate it with self-worth. We're seeking gratification from our self-representation. Because when we post something, we're putting ourselves out there, and to not get any likes from that, to not get comments saying like, oh, what a great picture, oh, you look like you're having so much fun, so jealous, like, that almost means that you're not doing something worthwhile. And so it just becomes a cycle of like posting and then finding the next thing to post and the next thing to post, and always trying to maintain that high of the likes and the comments and the relationship that you feel like you're getting from those posts. But it becomes exhausting. Social media gets exhausting because you can feel a lot of pressure to create almost like a personal brand for yourself on social media. And then you get addicted to the likes that you get and the self-assurance that you get from posting that. And for some people, it gets to a point where who you are is what people think of you, and how you feel is dependent on how people treat you. And this can be really damaging, because at some point when you're giving, posting, always sharing what you're doing, and you're not getting that self-assurance back, like, you can feel like there's nothing left of you. And that can be very exhausting and very depressing. It can give you anxiety because you feel like you're not enough. It becomes even scarier when you think about the fact that like we start using social media when we're young, like right when we're preteens and teenagers. And this is the exact same time when like our psyche is developing in a way that's separate from our parents, and we start to look to our friend groups for assurance and belonging. So essentially with social media, we're basically expanding our friend group, and the whole world becomes this group that we seek belonging and assurance from at a time when we're trying to develop our personal identities. And we can go our whole adult life never realizing that we never developed a sense of self that's separate from other people's thoughts. We are supposed to be people who have relationships. We're not supposed to be our relationships. And if you never learn how to develop a sense of self that's independent of other people, it can be extremely unbearable to be alone, or to even think of not being connected to the world or to a group of people, or to just random strangers that you know online. Arguably, social media is designed to make you feel powerless because it wants you to identify with a group that the algorithm thinks you belong to. So when you think about it, Facebook was designed by a college student for college students, and so the only way to express yourself on this network is as a teenager. You post something, and if the group accepts you, then you get a like. Just like as teenagers do things to show that they belong to the group, and so they look for acceptance and belonging from the group. And even Facebook's news feed shows you groups that it thinks you will like, because it's trying to compartmentalize your personality and conform it to this group that it's created based on similar likes and interests. Facebook only shows you content that it thinks you will engage with because it's trying to predict your behavior based on your personality, based on your interests, based on your likes. And so when we engage with a post that the algorithm put in our newsfeed or our Explorer page, we're basically saying, I like this content, I belong to this group. And as we're saying that, the algorithm is also learning that we do not belong with other groups that don't agree with our views from this group. And so we naturally start to compare ourselves along the lines of similarity and contrast, and the algorithm is doing the same thing to us. Like, it was actually proven that on Facebook, if you liked a group or you liked content that was about like eating holistically or eating vegan or naturally, just not eating preservatives, it would push you to groups for anti-vaccines because it found a correlation between people that believed in the same things. And we have to understand that every single social media network is trying to get you to engage with the content that it pushes onto your newsfeed or your Explore page or your timeline. Because when you engage, then it can feed the data and the algorithm to bring you more content. So if you like one type of post, the algorithm's gonna flood your timeline with more content like that, hoping that you engage because it wants to keep you on the platform for longer. Like on Instagram, if you like one Kardashian photo, your whole Explore page will be the Kardashians for a solid month. Even if you've never liked a Kardashian photo, you don't follow any of them, you don't follow people that follow them, they will still show up on your Explore page just because so many people interact with their content. And ultimately, these platforms are out here to make money. They're showing you content because they're hoping to pile you into a group that they know is attracted to certain products. So the more they can push you down a rabbit hole, the more that they can connect you with a certain type of lifestyle brand, the more they can sell products to you or have advertisers target you with their products because they know that you will engage with that content. Like, it's all for money. So personally, my experience with social media has kind of been up and down. I go through phases of like always being on it or not being on it at all. Back when I lived in France, I was on Instagram all the time. I would post every single pastry that I bought, every single one, because that's worth posting. But I also didn't use it in a healthy way because I would search up locations of cities that I was about to visit and then try to plan a photo that I would take at that city so that I could post it later. That took up a lot of time. Instead of just enjoying the city, I would go there to try to find that spot to take that picture. And then when I finished school, I was really big on Facebook, which is weird because it's Facebook, but I just loved it. I was following these like news sites and these blogs. I would read blogs all of the time, like Vox and AJ+. I loved that stuff until I got to a point where when George Floyd died, I went off. I was posting all of the time, like I wasn't even working anymore. I was just on Facebook 24/7. I would get into arguments with people in the comment section, and then my friends would like read the comment wars and then text me and be like, yeah, you killed that guy. So it was a lot of fun, but it was just a lot. Like I was nonstop on Facebook because I felt like I had a duty to like keep posting stuff because people were interacting with it so much. Social media has good aspects of it. If it wasn't for Instagram, I probably would keep straightening my hair. Like, it was the fact that I could see other girls that look like me with curly hair, just taking care of it, wearing it in really nice styles, that like gave me the courage almost to like stop straightening my hair. And then when I was living abroad, it was really easy to use social media to like connect with the people that I'm just meeting in this country. So it has good aspects, but I feel like there comes a point when it crosses the line where you feel like you don't have control over the time that you spend on these networks or the content that you see. So a lot of this changed for me when I watched this documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, and it just like reminded me of everything that I learned in school, reminded me of everything that I knew about social media and the dangers of it. And it also made me feel like I had an option. Like, it wasn't just delete your social media or forever just be like controlled by it. It was like, do this one thing and you can have the best of both worlds. In the documentary, it talked about turning off your notifications. And this might seem like such a small thing that wouldn't have a great effect, but believe me, it works. When I turned off my Facebook notifications, I just like didn't even think about the app anymore. Like, I don't even go on it now because it's not telling me to open the app. The way notification works is very subliminal in how it like forces you almost to perform the action that it's asking you to perform, because your notifications are not random. It knows who you interact with on these platforms, and when those people are online, when they post something, they tell you so that you come online too. I didn't realize how powerful notifications were until I turned off my Facebook notifications, because I would always open the app if I saw like a certain person shared your post, or a certain person commented on your meme, or a certain friend shared something. Like, I would always open the app after that. And it's almost like these apps are training you to come back online. Like, they know which one of your friends to notify you about so that you spend more time online, because that's what they want. They want you to spend time on their platforms. So when you turn your notifications off, you're basically reclaiming your time. You're saying like, I'm going to decide when I go online and when I'm offline. So if you're on the fence about deleting your social media, or if you've deleted it and you're still having like second thoughts, like, I would recommend having your social media there, but turning your notifications off so that you decide when you interact with these platforms. And also know that there's a certain peace that comes with living offline. Like, you don't have to go out and feel like you need to get a picture in order for your night to be worth something. You don't have to like constantly be recording things, hoping that you get something that's worth posting about. Like, I remember so many concerts I would go to and just record the whole thing, and I've never watched those videos afterwards. Like, I was at a whole concert watching the concert through my phone. It was ridiculous. So there's a certain level of like intimacy that comes with not sharing every single aspect of your life. Like, something is left for you alone, and you can like start to develop that sense of self outside of other people's thoughts. Like, who are you when no one's watching? I also feel like boredom is one of the main reasons why we stay on social media. I don't want to say we're scared of being bored, but it's like, why would I be bored when I could be entertained so easily? But we're not being entertained on social media. Like, we're being parceled up, we're being selected and put into groups, we're being shown content to get a rise out of us. Like, it's not entertaining, it's work, it's performative, and we know what it can do to us when we're not in control. And so we have to always be attentive of like how we're spending our time online. So that is why social media is a trap. No, but seriously, let me know if you deleted your social media. Let me know if you are gonna consider just turning your notifications off and see how it goes. Or if you watch Social Dilemma, like, what did you think of it? If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.